I'm Chris Gledhill. I'm the manager of BC Earth Exchange. I got involved here because my daughter was racing BMX. And she's been racing for 5 or 6 years now. Then I kind of got sucked in from there since I was here all the time anyway. It's a lot of work. This year's been great. This is the most volunteers I think we've ever seen out for a build. The first year I helped out, there was 2 or 3 of us out here, and it was a real marathon. A lot of work to do it in a couple of days. We've got a fair bit of equipment out here, the track skid steer here, and then excavators from a 14-ton down to a 1.5-ton little micro. And then, the roller and a quad to pack all the corners. So it's a lot of equipment, a lot of people to pull together, a lot of wrangling people to keep everyone pointed in the right direction. It's been pretty good. It's been nice the last couple of years. We've had some people in the club that really want to learn how it's done and everything, which has been great. And we're just happy to have people out. And the more people we can teach how to do this, the less I have to do, so I'm happy about that. If it was a work site, honestly, it's probably be a week-long project. I'm not going to lie. Because we do usually 2 16-hour days to get this done. But I mean, today we've got a dozen people out here helping to finish, so it's a lot of people. Often when people build tracks like this, it's sort of a week-long project, but you got to pay for the building every day we're in here. And it's volunteer run, and the funding is based on having people in the building, not on building the track. So the faster we can get it done, the quicker we can get people in the building paying to race, and the better for the club. We've got a permanent outdoor track. It's been there for, probably for 10 years now. Although it seems like every year we do more work on it and change something. It's a lot of maintenance because it's open to the public. So it gets beat on pretty hard through the winter, and people like to race RC cars on it and all sorts of things. So it's a lot of maintenance, but it's a permanent track. And then they do 2 builds indoors here every winter. And it's one of the few, I think there's one in Washington State, but there's not very many around running in the winter, so we get a huge turnout from the island, from Washington, from the interior. And so we do 1 build before Christmas, and then we have to tear it down and give the building back, and then we come in after and we do another build that's usually a little longer in the spring, and then in early March we tear it down and we move to outdoor. Adam Muse is the coach for the Canadian team, and he's a track builder. He's sort of the one with the vision behind it. He runs around and actually says what to do. I more just sort of pull levers and put dirt where he tells me to. I have no idea how to ride it, so he's the one who coordinates it, who plans it in his head, and who's been involved in the build for a lot of years.
Hi, I'm Adam Muse. I'm the national BMX coach for Canada. I've been involved in the sport for 33 years. I've been helping support the club here in Abbotsford for the past 20 years, building this awesome indoor facility. And back in 2008, when BMX came involved in the Olympics, we didn't have something called Supercross Hill or Supercross track, and the club here was keen to build one, so we worked to do that. Took us a couple of years to get it done. In 2011 we opened our Supercross track. It was the first one in Canada, and it was the 3rd permanent track in the world. Still one of 2 in Canada. A 3rd one's opening very shortly. Yeah, it allows our athletes to train here in BC, and it's the best weather in the country, so we can kind of train all year round. So our design here, we have a classic M-shape track, or will be once we're done, which is usually what we build in this building. The tracks can vary. Last build we actually did 290, so it was more of a U and U type shape, but we find this is the most efficient shape and try to build the best track. On the track we try to add different obstacles to challenge different riders, but as well as part of my philosophy is it's winter time. It's a good time to work on skills. We don't necessarily need to go fast, so I always try to add a few obstacles to help with skill development, whether it's a nice tabletop for kids to jump, or maybe something a little more challenging for the older riders. There's a really big step-up tabletop going into turn 2, which will challenge the older riders to clear the whole thing. Into turn 1, there's a bit of a pointy camelback that'll challenge riders going over top of it. This indoor track we build very fast. We've done it in a day of building. This build we're doing it in 2 days. And then it usually takes another day or two of manual labor. We get riders on the track that actually help kind of pack it down. So it's constant grooming for the first week of it. On build day, we have 3, 4, 5 core people doing the machine work, running everything. But then in the evening and sort of starting now is we get another 8 to 10 people are coming to help with the raking and grooming and stuff. Every day I'm coaching, and I get to do this a couple times a year. I enjoy it, it's fun, but it also helps support the local club and even my riders. Like, it gives them a new track to ride and stuff. So I do a bit of work outdoor as well to change the track or groom it so they have the best possible facility to train on and the club to ride on. BMX is for everyone, and that's actually what's really cool about the sport. 2-year-olds can do the half track, where we're just starting on the third straight and they ride the little strider bikes. And then there's the older rider class, they ride cruisers, and they can be 65, 70 years old, enjoy it as well. And it's male and female. And as a parent, it's actually super cool because we all do it at the same time. My 5-year-old and an 8-year-old are racing, and I can come and race as well. As far as indoor tracks, this track is really good. Sure, it is a little smaller than our outdoor track. It's bigger, it's faster, but we have a really good indoor facility here, and we're super lucky to have this. We have it a couple times a year. It's warm in here, it's dry, but our track is actually really good too. One of the great things about BMX is it's kind of like a gateway to cycling. If you like to ride bikes, like, you can start here, you're learning the skills that can take you anywhere in cycling. You don't have to be a BMX rider. Many mountain bike, road, downhill riders all started in BMX, and the skill development that these kids learn can kind of take them anywhere.
Yeah, there's a ridiculous amount of handwork at the tail end of this. Like, we'll probably have the track done later today, but we'll all be out here tomorrow raking and finishing, cleaning up rocks, laying out hoses to keep it watered, and putting up banners and all those little things that really make it look like a track. Throughout indoor, we do coaching every Wednesday night. So this build is 5 weeks, so there'll be 5 indoor coaching sessions. They do novice and then inter-expert. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays they run open practice. And we race Saturdays and Sundays. And then the big race is Family Day weekend, where we've got provincial qualifier, a Gold Cup qualifier, and a local track event. So it's 3 big races, big weekend. It's usually the busiest weekend of the year in here. It's sort of standing room only some weekends, which is a lot of fun. And then we have a couple more, and then we tear out. And we also rent the track out on the weekends to some of the groups. The building gets used, I think aside from Monday, the building gets used every day of the week.
My name's Derek. I'm president of Abbotsford BMX, and we're here today at our coaching session with Alex Tugis. And he's basically teaching the kids what he's learned. He's a former or a current pro rider. A lot of times they'll be working on like gate starts and things like that. They'll, your positioning on the gate is a big thing, how to throw that body weight forward and be able to get out of the gate faster than everyone else. The more times that you're going to practice on that, the faster that you're going to be, the quicker that you get to that first corner, the better the chances that you are going to, win that race. The intermediate and expert that are out on the track right now, and basically they're sitting, they can be as young as 5 years old as an expert. The kids that are experts at 5 years old, those kids have won a lot of races. They put a lot of time in at 5 years old. So the ranges are anywhere from 3 years old until their 60s. Daily, it's keeping an eye on the soil conditions, just making sure that there's enough moisture in the soil. The more that it dries out, the more that the track's going to start to crumble. It's not 100% optimal dirt content that's in here. It's what we have to work with. So keeping that optimal, keeping the soil packed down enough that it's not going to start to disintegrate and turn into dust. Making sure it's watered, filling any divots or anything like that, picking out any rocks that may come to the surface over the course of them riding. That's the type of stuff that's needed to maintain the track during the 4 to 6 weeks that we run our series.
It's going really good, actually. It's the biggest turnout we've had since pre-COVID. Biggest turnout I remember in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah.
It's, lots of riders from Washington State because we're running a Gold Cup today. So lots of new faces.
Yeah.
Really great. Stands are full, no room to sit. This is what we want. Concessions selling out of everything today. We got 420 riders showed up today. We're running a 50-50. We had a couple of bike shops donate prizes. We're running raffles for that, trying to raise money to replace some of our stuff that got stolen here in the fall. Starting lights and staging equipment. Really good volunteer turnout today. We actually ended up with too many volunteers, which is never a bad thing. There's a lot of crowd control going on here today. We ran out of spots for volunteers. We ran out of radios, and that's exactly what you want when you put an event like this on, is lots of involvement from parents.
It's 100% awesome to see everybody showing up and, hundreds of people in the stands cheering everybody on, cheering on their favorite riders. It's very, very positive to see for this sport.
Maintenance is a never-ending thing. For some of the guys here, we're on day 5 of being in the building now, watering every night, doing track maintenance. We had a big work party on Thursday night, try and get the track in shape. Had a couple work parties over the last couple weeks just to pick up rocks, do the lines, do track work. A lot of work from a lot of volunteers, and yeah, the track's holding up good. Everyone's riding fast. Really successful build, I think.